Hello and welcome to another episode of Visiting Professionals. I'm your host, Austin Slaybaugh, and today I'm at the Henry Ford visiting with associate producer, Amber Stankoff.
Hi Austin, welcome to the Henry Ford.
Thank you for having me. Stay tuned, guys, we got a lot of great stuff coming up.
Hi, my name is Austin Slaybaugh. I'm a student at Open University. Most of my time is spent on campus in class, but when I'm not hitting the books, I'm visiting professionals. Today on Visiting Professionals, I made my way to the Henry Ford to meet with associate producer Amber Stankoff. Amber is a recent graduate of Oakland University who obtained a full-time position at the Henry Ford working on various video projects. I was kindly invited to a shoot to learn more about Amber's role at the Henry Ford.
Hey Amber, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Austin.
So what exactly do we got going on today?
So we have a shoot planned in the Glass Gallery in Greenfield Village. Would you like to come along?
Absolutely.
All right this way.
Sweet.
I followed Amber through Greenfield Village to the Glass Gallery. The Glass Gallery is a very impressive facility with amazing one-of-a-kind art pieces. Once there, we met up with Amber's colleagues Brian and Paul as they were preparing for an interview shoot. Amber also helped the crew set up equipment as well.
So today we're setting up for an interview with our master glass blower, Josh Wojcik, and we'll be talking about our Artist in Residence program that we had over the summer. And it's part of an ongoing series that we've been doing since May, talking about these different glass blowers who come in. And so, we're inside the Davidson Gerson Glass Gallery, and there's a lot to look at. There's a lot of windows and glass, so this space has been a great learning experience for us with lighting, because every time we come in here, the lighting situation is different.
It is really harsh light in here.
Yeah.
So Amber, what's your role here today?
So I'm going to be one of two cameras. I'm the tightest shot, the close-up, and basically we hold an interview that's maybe like a half hour to 45 minutes, and it's just on continuous roll. We're a great team, and we all depend on each other, and we have a great dynamic where we're able to communicate really well and talk to each other about what's working, what's not. So
After the shoot was complete, Amber was able to give me a tour of the editing suites, which are located right within the Henry Ford, the Museum of American Innovation.
So this is our edit suite and sound booth. You want to check it out?
Absolutely, lead the way.
So this is our producer, Paul.
Nice to meet you, Paul.
Nice to meet you as well.
So Paul here is working on a new editing project that we just shot yesterday about a new exhibit called Mathematica. So we often create these types of videos to promote exhibits and get people coming in through our doors. So this is my edit suite here. I've been working on a project called Connect 3. It's a series that we have, and basically what it is our curators will pick 3 seemingly different objects from our vast collections and try to connect them with one common denominator. And basically this series, we get archival documents to use to pan and track across them. It's pretty simple. We use Adobe Premiere, and in that we're able to animate the photos, and then we use After Effects for lower thirds graphics.
So working with the curators, do you have to go back and do voiceovers for your final edit?
Yes, we do a voiceover with the curator who wrote the episode. So we get to speak to several different curators over the course of this series. And we did that in our sound booth, which we can check out right now. So we're here in the sound booth at the Henry Ford, and this is where we bring in our curators to record their voiceovers for pieces like you just saw, the Connect 3s. And it's a great experience for us too, because we learn so much from the curators every time they come in here.
Okay, well, let's see if you can learn something out of this. I'm gonna give this a shot. See if that's going.
From millions of artifacts in the Henry Ford's digital collections, our expert chose 3 and revealed surprisingly curious connections between them. Find out more at henryford.org.
A little bit of a quick read, but really good for your first take.
We'll leave this one to the professionals.
Coming up after the break, my visit continues with associate producer Amber Stankoff as I ask her some more important questions about her career when Visiting Professionals continues.
OUTV, Channel 41, OUTV, Channel 41, OUTV, Channel 41, on and poppin'. OUTV, Channel 41, OUTV, Channel 41, OUTV, Channel 41. OUTV, Oakland University Television is here to provide you educational, engaging, and entertaining content. Catch OUTV live on Comcast Channel 41 or on the internet at oakland.edu/OUTV. OUTV, it's on and poppin'.
Welcome back to Visiting Professionals. Today, I'm at the Henry Ford visiting with associate producer Amber Stankoff. Before I sat down with Amber, I spoke with Brian Egan, the executive producer at the Henry Ford, to understand what Amber brings to the team.
So, Brian, can you tell me a little bit about what Amber brings to the table here at the Henry Ford?
Absolutely. We're very fortunate to have Amber join us here at the Henry Ford. Paul Lindsay, our senior producer, has 30 years of experience in the field. So we were looking to have other experiences or skill sets that we could share upon each other. And Amber brings, right out of school, she brings a different perspective. Also, she is at a point in her career starting out where she can learn from Paul, she can gain experiences from an established, but then also bring her own fresh perspectives to it. So we're very lucky. I'm worried that we're going to lose her because somebody's going to snatch her up, but I hope to hang on to her for quite a long time.
Amber, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day down here at the Henry Ford. But before we jump into everything that it is that you do here, I want to get to know a little bit about you. Are you from this area?
I am. I grew up in Livonia, and I came to the Henry Ford as a kid all the time, and so getting to work here now is like a dream because it was such a vital part of my childhood and my learning experiences.
Now, going from your childhood to where you're at now, obviously where you landed, now how did you get there? Did you go to school by chance?
I went to Oakland University and I got a cinema studies degree, and I also minored in communications and history. So all those 3 things kind of came together, and I utilize all aspects of what I learned in what I do now. But after I graduated, I got an internship at Donor, which is an advertising agency headquartered in Southfield, Michigan. And I interned there for about 3.5 months, and then I was signed on as a contract assistant editor. And then I was there in that position for about 3 months before being hired by the Henry Ford. And although my time there was very short, I still was able to learn so much, and it became a vital stepping stone to get me to where I am today.
Mm-hmm. Now, did your time at OU help you land that internship?
Absolutely. My professors helped me out a great deal, pointing me in the right directions and saying, hey, there's an internship opportunity, maybe you should apply for it. And they gave me the encouragement in addition to all of the technical skills that I was able to obtain through that program.
Mm-hmm. Now, how much has all the internships and your work at OU helped you here at your job at Henry Ford?
My skills that I obtained in the program at Oakland as well as at Donor were able to help me in my job today, especially not just with the technical aspects of everything, but also in terms of marketing and branding. We use that every day here. Anytime we think of a video idea or somebody wants us to shoot something, we always have to consider the brand. And so it does go beyond the technical aspects in that regard.
So where did you first find your passion in film? What made you decide that this might be what you want to do?
It was actually really interesting. So when I was growing up, I had no idea that this field could even be an option for me. You know, a lot of people have their favorite movie that they see when they're young, and it inspires them to go want to be a filmmaker or a content creator of some kind. But I didn't have that, and I really didn't discover this career path until my freshman year of college when I took an intro to film course. And in that course, I was so inspired and intrigued by how my professor discussed film. And it made me want to follow that career path. But like I said, I didn't have any experience whatsoever. And so it was all very new to me. And even now, I'm still growing and learning every day. But that initial intro to film class was what kicked it off for me.
That's where all the dominoes started to fall. Now, after you started to get more involved with this career and you landed at Henry Ford, how did you actually land here in the first place? Did you apply for the job, or was it just handed to you?
So I did apply for the job. On one of the career websites, I found the job posting, and just went through the normal application process, got an interview, and it was just really quick from then on. They looked at my reel and looked at some of the work that I had done, and they liked that I was very passionate about what I wanted to do. So I think that aided me in getting this position as well. But yeah, it's crazy because I never thought that I would be here. Like, not here, but I just never thought that I would be at this stage of my career only a year and a half out of college. So I'm really fortunate for that.
Now, the whole entire production team here at Henry Ford, how do all you guys mesh together? How many of you are there in your department?
So there's 3 of us. There's myself, the producer, Paul Lindsay, and the executive producer, Brian Egan. And it's a great team. We have such a great dynamic. We're always learning from each other every day, whether it's about lighting, editing, storytelling, you name it. And it's great to have that. And just being able to bounce ideas off of each other is just really fun.
Now, about how many productions would you say that you put out a month here?
It's hard to say, but we definitely keep busy. Actually, this year we've done about 70 videos.
70 already?
Yeah, from January to September we've done about 70. So we do a lot, but it's so fun.
Okay. Now, do you guys work together on those projects, or do you guys kind of take them all individually?
For the most part, we shoot stuff together, but then when we go to the editing room, sometimes we'll split up work if there's a lot to do. But other times for bigger projects, sometimes we'll take that on together, and Paul will be directing the edit, and then maybe I'll be throwing clips down. So it really just depends on the project.
Now, what difficulties have you found working in this industry?
I think, I guess the one thing that you don't really learn in school is how to work with people. And what I mean by that is we work with non-professional voiceover people who aren't used to being on camera. We do a lot of pieces with our curators and conservators. And so we're always working with people who have different ranges of comfortability on camera or in the sound booth. And so, yeah, that's really one thing that you don't learn. It's situational. And so that's also been a learning experience for us because we have to take on each situation differently, and we have to know how this person may respond to what we're telling them, make sure that we're being clear and that we don't come across as being demanding or what have you.
How do you handle all the different personalities that you run into in this industry?
Again, it's really situational, and the great part about our team is that we kind of know how each other works, and we know that if we're kind of under pressure to get a shoot done, that everything is very, we got our nose to the grind, and we know we have to get stuff done, and we always have to communicate with people too, make sure that each of us know what's going on, and making sure that, you know, I tell my boss, okay, well, I have this edit done, I'm sending it to you, can you check it out, or can you take a look at this and give me feedback, what do you think?
So you guys have already filmed 70 videos this year just for the Henry Ford. How do you find so much content to make videos out of?
Honestly, this place is just a breeding ground for content. There's so much going on, and whether it's a program or an event, a new acquisition or exhibit, we cover it, and we make these pieces to tell the story of the many stories of this institution and what it offers, and we promote those very things and send it out to the public so that they want to come to the museum or the village or what have you. So it's really about you know, trying to get people to come here and also educating them on what we have to offer.
Now, going from the difficulties of what you do, what's been the best part about working here? You know, this being the place that you hung out during your childhood, how has it been?
Honestly, the best part about it is that we learn something new every time. We talk to the curators and conservators, and we always learn new things from them too, which is a great experience. But honestly, just being able to create content, and we put our stuff out on social media and YouTube, and seeing people's responses to that, our viewers, is really humbling, I think. And you see people who say, oh, I love the Henry Ford, or this is a great video. And when you see that kind of reaction, we know that we've done our job, that we've made an impact. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, is making an impact on your audience and making sure that people, like what you're putting out.
Coming up after the break, my interview concludes with Amber Stankoff as I ask her some more interesting questions about her career. When Visiting Professionals continues.
You're watching OUTV Channel 41. OUTV aims to provide informative and professional news packages covering what's happening on and around campus. Tune in each and every day to discover new things and learn more with our educational and engaging content. And if you're looking for highly entertaining and enjoyable programming, you're on the right channel. OUTV, Oakland University's premier cable channel.
Welcome back to Visiting Professionals. Today, I'm at the Henry Ford visiting with Associate Producer Amber Stankoff. I had some more important questions to ask Amber, and she was happy to answer them.
All right, so now just rewinding a little bit back to your time at OU, aside from your classes, I know that you talked about putting a demo reel together even for your job at the Henry Ford. What extracurricular things did you do at OU that helped you to get where you are?
So I did different things like the 24-hour film challenge, where you get to learn how to create a short film in a very short amount of time. It's really a time crunch, and it helps you realize the importance of getting things done quickly, but also it helps you realize that you can have simplicity and that's okay. And if you know the techniques when you're shooting or editing, then you'll be fine and you can get what you want done in a short time span. But yeah, that was one of the things I learned from doing the 24-hour film challenge. And aside from that, I did my student films. I did, which is not film related, but I was the president and founder of the Classical Hollywood Club, which I don't think is still around anymore, but for a few short years, myself and a few friends helmed that, and that was a great experience too. It taught me a lot of leadership qualities.
It sounds like you've stayed really busy throughout all of this. How important would you say it is to be well versed in all aspects of production?
It's very important. In what I do now, I learned most of it like after college, you know, especially with editing. So my college classes prepared me pretty well with the editing software Premiere by Adobe. But then after that, I had to start learning other things like motion graphics with After Effects. And that was one thing that I never thought I would learn to use or would want to use, but I quickly realized that if I am going to be a professional editor, I need to learn these different post-production softwares because your employer wants you to be well-versed in many different areas. Same with production, you know, I had to know how to use cameras and audio equipment, but again, if you know the technology, if you know the processes, then you can hop from camera to camera, and I know that, okay, well, even though this is a different camera, white balance is always gonna be this like same process, or setting up a shot is gonna be the same process, but I just need to know how to do that in order to get a good piece.
So now in this day and age, it seems like technology is always evolving, and even every week there's always something new. How do you always stay on top of everything that comes about?
So if you understand the main functions of a camera and the basic functions of like exposure, focus, white balance, all those things, you can adapt to new technology as it comes along. Like editing software is always going to be advancing and becoming more user-friendly to people. But if you know how to tell a story through editing, if you know how to cut, like, you know, from if you know how to do a shot, reverse shot, for example, then, you know, you can adapt to those new technologies as long as you have those basic ideas.
So about how long would you say it takes you and your team to put together a piece?
Depends on how big the project is and also the priority of it. Some projects take precedent over others. But I would say from start to finish, normally it could take us anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, again, depending on how big the project is. But we've done pieces where, you know, we go out for a special event, like Old Car Festival just happened earlier last month. And that's one of those things where we shot for the first half of the day, and then the second half of the day we spent putting together a highlight piece. And so for that case, you know, it was just an 8-hour workday. But some of the other bigger pieces that we do take a longer amount of time to put together.
So what specific classes did you take at OU that really stood out to you and helped you in your career path?
So Oakland University, I just want to say the cinema program there is probably one of the best learning experiences I had ever. And we got such a range of classes that I think really helped me be where I am today. And specifically, you know, there were the production classes that, of course, gave me or introduced those camera skills, the editing skills. But then there were other classes, and one that really sticks out in my mind is called Media Industries. And I took that with Dr. Courtney Brandon Donahue. And what I loved about that class is that it also taught us about branding and marketing for studios and films. And that's one of the biggest takeaways for me, because whenever we create a piece here at the Henry Ford, we are always considering our brand. And I really feel that that was a huge stepping stone in helping me understand branding and marketing, even though it wasn't technically a marketing class. So that was huge for me. Also, film theory. I think that some of the theoretical classes get a little bit of a, not as good of a rap as some of the production classes, but film theory helped me understand why we do things. And it helped me learn to think critically about not just film, but video content in general. And so film theory and marketing and branding and production, like, those are aspects that I use daily on the job.
There's a lot more to it than just
Yeah.
point and shoot, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So, Amber, what advice would you give to a student that wants to go down this career path?
One of the biggest things that I wish I would have known is about the demo reel. If you're going down the production path, you want to have something that encompasses a good collection of what you've worked on as a student. And for me, at the end of my college career, I had done production classes and I had made some student films, but to me, you know, as a student, you are always learning and failing and getting back up and trying things again, making mistakes. You know, I can't tell you how many times where I didn't expose a shot properly, and you know, those are things that help you along the way, help you learn those lessons. But that's really what I wish I would have known, is that I needed to do more production to finesse my demo reel. So, and that's a big thing that employers will look at if you're trying to get into production, is a demo reel. So I highly recommend, you know, finessing that, making sure that you have the best of the best in your 60 seconds or however long you make it. And even if it's just for practice, going out with your friends to capture the sunrise or something, you know, and throwing that in your reel, you know, that those are things that you can do to not only help you practice, but to help showcase what you're capable of.
Now, was there ever a time where you thought maybe this industry isn't for me?
I don't think I ever really did. I think once I jumped into it, I knew that and it's kind of like cheesy maybe, but I just had a really strong gut feeling that this is the path that I'm supposed to take. And so I always felt that I would be successful in some way or another. And obviously everyone has their own parameters for how they define success, but I always knew that I would be doing what I love.
Now, I got one last question before we wrap things up here. Is this the best job in the world?
It is the best job. I cannot tell you. I come here every day and I still can't believe that I work here. So I'm very grateful for this job.
Well, Amber, thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
until next time, I can't wait to see what you have coming up in the future.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Visiting Professionals. I'd like to give a special thanks to the Henry Ford and Amber Stankoff. Until next time, guys, I'm your host, Austin Slaybaugh, signing off.